Art is a wonderful thing, but let's be honest, it can be a bit expensive. Hell, clay sculpting can be an expensive hobby. You know, you're spending this money on, say, like Super Sculpey, you get about a pound of clay, and it's like $27. Cost clay, even more expensive. That's the new thing. It's pretty cool stuff, but man, it gets expensive. Well, I'm not talking about you, baby. Shh. This stuff, Monster Clay, you know, it's probably like $35 Canadian. Shipping's pretty cheap, and you get about 5 pounds of this stuff, and it's reusable, which is why I like it a lot. But things are expensive, and I wanted to see if I could sculpt on a budget. So I headed over to the old dollar store, and I got myself... One sec. Some dollar store clay, which was actually really cheap, about $2.25, and you get about probably like a pound of clay. So I wanted to test this clay out, see if we can create something really cool, something spooky. I'm all about the spooky stuff. And just to see if we can sculpt on a budget, because for $2.25, man, that is some cheap clay. But is it worth buying? Is it not worth buying? Is it good? Is it not good? And after that testing, we're gonna sculpt something. I'm thinking something aquatic, because it's blue. It reminds me of the sea. So let's test this out. So this is Craft's modeling clay. It is gluten-free in case you wanna cook it, I guess. I don't know. Let's go over the price. It is $2.25 for about, this is what, maybe a pound? I don't have a scale, but it's about the same size as a thing of Sculpey. I think that's about a pound, maybe 1.1 pound. So it's pretty cheap, which is nice. Another thing I like about clay is the smell. I'm very particular about the smells of my clay. Now it's very picky, but you know, it's just something I like. Let's open this up and see how this smells. If I can get this open. I know smell is kind of weird, but you don't want to be working with a stinky clay. Let me tell you, it's not fun. Some ASMR. Let's open this up, get a good whiff. Oh, what the hell? It smells sweet. Kind of smells like candy. What the hell? Kind of smells like candy mixed with paint. Like it's not terrible. It feels pretty soft. I'm just pushing into this so you can see just how soft that is. There's my clay cutter. Good old clay cutter, which I got from Walmart. It's for pastry. Pillsbury. Let's cut off a chunk here. Oh yeah, that's easy. That's pretty simple to cut through. Kind of sticky. I think this is oil-based clay. Plastiline, maybe. Conditioning it, pretty simple. Honestly, it's pretty easy. It's not like, you know, super sculpty firm. It's probably a little bit firmer than Super Sculpey. I got some right here to compare, actually. Let's see, let's get like a fresh chunk. That's pretty soft. Really easy to condition. Super Sculpey, regular. Yeah, I'd say this is almost pretty similar. This is softer. This is still, like, this is a little bit softer than Super Sculpey original. I want to test warming this up in my clay warmer and see if it softens up pretty quickly. Now, while we wait for the clay to warm up, let's try out some tools and see if this stuff sticks to it. Got my tool here. Got some monster clay in there already. So it's pretty easy to work with, pretty smooth. Oh, it doesn't stick too bad. Kind of get it in there, trying to see if any of this sticks to the tool. Hey, you know what? It's working pretty good. It's not really sticking. Although the real test comes, and you get something like a little fine detail tool like this. Come in here. Try and get that out. Oh, you know what? It actually comes off pretty easily. Doesn't really stick. Well, maybe a little bit. But you can just kind of plug that in there and it takes it right off. Let's try my rake tool here. Custom made by me. Alright, you know, raking it. Well, actually, it comes off really good. I mean, there's like a little bit in there, but there's little divots in there anyways, because there is monster clay stuck in there, but that's to be expected anyways. But it does come off the bigger chunks, right? You know, if you're breaking away, trying to smooth things out, this clay does smooth pretty good. It's pretty soft, and there's really nothing left behind. You can just clean it off real good. Now I know Chavant sticks really good to your tools as well, and those are hard to clean off. With this stuff, you know, it's not terrible. It's not too bad, but it's pretty soft, easy to work with. If you have carpal tunnel or the harder clay is gonna hurt your hands, then a softer clay like this might work with you pretty good. Let's see if it keeps details. So we're gonna squish this clay out just like that. Get in there. I don't imagine you could do too much crazy detail with this, since it is pretty soft, but it does hold the detail pretty neat. Smooth that out pretty easily. Oh yeah. Or if you want to do, let's say, some pores, kind of stabby, stab. You know, maybe you're trying to do some pore detail on your character, and then you want to get a sponge, smooth it out a little bit. You got some pore detail there. I mean, you know what I mean. It's not crazy detail, but I mean, it'll do. That's for sure. And then if it looks bad, look at that. Race is pretty good. All right, we kept it in the clay warmer for a little bit, and look at that. Look how just super soft that is now. I mean, it's already soft to begin with. You don't need to use a clay warmer with this stuff. You can just like, look at this. Very flexible, eh? Plop. Break off a piece. It's already ready to go, honestly. Now there's one more test that we have to do before we try and sculpt something. The blowtorch test. Can we heat this up to a melting point where we can say if we make a head and a torso, we take the head off and we need to melt it back on to that head to hold in place. Right? Does it melt? Let's see. Will it melt? Yes. Yes, it will. Oh wow, it melts pretty good. Look at that. And then push it in place. Boom. Look at that, dude. It looks ready to I don't know, to invade your dreams. And it holds the heat pretty good as well. Using the blowtorch is good to help smooth out detail or smooth out the sculpt. Although I don't think I'd use the blowtorch on this because it's just so soft. If you were to do some details, you know, scratches or wrinkles, then hit it with the blowtorch, you know, it's just gonna not work too well. As you can see, it almost got blasted out. Let's go sculpt something creepy, shall we? Come with me, Clay. You're gonna be my bitch for a little bit. So I got a small piece of scrap wood here with a floor flange and a little metal pipe that is screwed into it. We've got some armature wire just kind of stuffed into that area. We're going to be using some tin foil and some painter's tape to kind of just bulk out where we're going to sculpt. And I'm thinking something like maybe like an aquatic creature of some kind. So let's just get to it. With the tin foil in hand, we start to bulk up the sculpt here. I'm pushing the aluminum foil right into there so the wires don't move. And this is the stage where we just start bulking the whole thing up, because we don't want to, you know, use up too much of the clay. Because if we don't have a good base, then that clay is just going to kind of slide right off. So we want to have a good, strong base just to bulk it all up so it's nice and sturdy. So with the initial block out and applying the clay, I had to come up with an idea for an aquatic creature. Now, I definitely love the old school monsters, you know, Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, and I was trying to think, you know, what monster doesn't get enough love? And my mind went straight to Creature from the Black Lagoon. I gathered a bunch of reference of the creature from the Black Lagoon. Some, some old school from the movie, and then some other designs that people have done. I believe they're going to do a remake of this movie a while ago, and one of the sculptors did a really nice figure sculpt of the creature from the Black Lagoon. So I used that as reference as well. And I want to do my own kind of spin on this. Maybe add in some different kind of fish details to it. And of course, the more reference you have, well, the better your art will, turn out. But this isn't going to be like a really detailed sculpt. This is going to be more like a sketch, something that, you practice and give yourself a time limit for like, say, like 2 hours. So this whole process was about 2 hours long. A pretty quick sketch for just a little creature bust, right? Using this clay. And I treated this like any other bust. You find your center lines, add in the brows, try and find the sockets, and then use the reference that you've gathered to just try and build up this creature using different aspects of the reference that you gathered. And the whole idea of doing a sketch like this is just to have fun with it, right? Use your reference, move fast, keep things nice, loosey and goosey, and just kind of experiment with the forms and see what you get. When it comes to making a bust like this, I think the best way to go about it is to do the initial head first, right? Get that head shape in place, and then you can add on the neck, which will, make it look even better. So with this fish man, I want this guy to have a bit of a longer head in the back, it kind of tapers off in the back there. And then the neck's going to be a little bit more girthy because, I like my fishmen nice and girthy. He's starting to look pretty good, and now it's time to kind of experiment with the kind of face shape that I want to give this creature from the Black Lagoon. So this creature, he's like half human, half fish creature, right? And I wanted the brows to kind of come down vertically, not be so human-like. So these brows are going to be vertical, and then the eyes are going to be kind of sunken in the back there, behind those. So the face will look a little bit more sharper in the front, and the eyes will definitely be a little bit further apart. What I noticed with the reference that I gathered is that the creature from the Black Lagoon, he has these rolls under his neck. He's a pretty rolly guy, and I love my rolls. So we add some rolls underneath the neck there, give him a bit of a chin, and then we start to sculpt in the nostrils. Maybe a fish, but he can also breathe above water, so he's got to have a nose, of course. I'm using some these like golden beads that I got from Michael's just to kind of find the eye placement, and we push them in just like that, so we get a sense of where the eyes are going to be, and we just start to sculpt around the eyes, trying to fill in the cheekbones, the eyelids, and trying to give this guy a little bit more character to him. Since the creature is, aquatic fish man, we gotta give him like these kind of head and neck fins. And I kind of want to add a lot of neck fins. Well, fins in general to the head, to the cheeks there, and even to like the forehead. Eyes can be a bit difficult, but all you gotta do is roll up some noodles of clay, put them above for the upper eyelids, and then put another noodle of clay for the lower eyelids. Boom, you got eyes. It's that easy. I mean, I'll be honest, they're looking a little bit janky, but I mean, this is just a sketch anyways. So I'm not trying to take anything too seriously here. I wanted to add in more human anatomy, so I kind of added in that nasal fold that we have, just like kind of underneath the nose and the cheeks. That folds kind of inwards. And then for the lips, I added in like these kind of like this thick whisker, kind of what catfish have. And then adding in even more fins to the cheeks, while also seeing if I can put in some pretty nice detail, and pretty happy with it. So you might notice that I've been just focusing on this right side, because what I'm doing right now is I'm just playing with some ideas, adding some fins, seeing how it looks on one side. And if I like it, if I don't like it, then I'll tear it down. But so far I'm liking it. So once we get this right side all, kind of sorted out and looking pretty good, I'm going to move to the left side and just kind of mirror everything as best as I can. I find that working this way is much quicker for me. I don't know about you, but I definitely recommend giving it a try. Oh, and a tip for symmetry is if you have trouble with symmetry, try tilting your sculpt upside down and sculpting that way. Kind of tricks the mind into seeing it differently, and it'll come out more symmetrical. This creature is going to have a bit of style to him, okay? I don't want to leave him bald. What I want to do is give him a bit of like a mohawk or a fin hawk, as you can see. I don't want to just leave him bald. Starting to blend in all the rolls, and then we're going to take the torch here and try and smooth everything out, but not too smooth, we just want to kind of hit it real fast so those lines don't, get demolished. And taking my tool here and trying to create just little fish scales. And now for the finished product, the creature from the Black Lagoon. It's all done. It's been a couple days, looking a little fresh with a new haircut, but here he is, the creature from the Black Lagoon sketch. Didn't spend too much time on him, about 2 hours, like I said. Just getting in there, doing it fast, laying down the forms. But I gotta say, it's a lot of fun working with this clay. I'm pretty sure it's plastiline clay. I couldn't find it on the website, so I'm not sure if they just kind of, chopped up some different clay and then repackaged it for the dollar store around here, but I definitely like using it. It sticks real well, it blends real well, it holds detail pretty good, but careful to not bump this thing, although it is pretty stiff. But if you were to drop this, it would probably get smooshed in. I took some inspiration from the creature from the Black Lagoon, the original, with like some of the wrinkles and the face, the lips, but I wanted to add in a couple more fins, cool little fin hawk here. And then these little whiskers that I've always liked on, I believe, catfish. Kind of give him like a little more distinguished look, right? Good day there, sir. How you doing? If you're starting out and you want to get into sculpting, check your dollar store. They'll have some clay good enough to get started with, just to dip your toes in. This is the kind of clay though that you don't want to bake in the oven like polymer clay, or else this is gonna melt. But if you want to, you can create something like this, happy with it, take a couple pictures, post to your social media or whatever, and then you can tear it all down and you could reuse the clay for something else, right? It's great clay to mess with, practice with. I actually enjoyed using this. As fun as this was, I gotta return him to the Black Lagoon. So I'll see you guys later. If you enjoyed the video, sure hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. What would you like to see next? What kind of sculpt? What kind of creature? A creature bust? Yeah, just let me know. We should probably head out, shouldn't we? Come on.